Hello students, welcome to the class. Today we are beginning with new chapter, that is the geographic lesson number 12, North America, land of prairies. Land of prairies in the sense what? The land of grasslands, the land of herbs and the land of shrubs. We are going to study entirely about the North American parts. Okay. Today in this lesson we will study about location, extent and physical settings, physical divisions, climate, natural vegetation, agriculture, important minerals, industries, population growth, distribution and density of the continent of North America. See, today we are going to study about the location, how much the extent it is and what is the physical setting of North America, physical divisions, climatic changes, natural vegetation, agriculture, important minerals found in North America, and then industries, population growth, how is the population growth in North America, and distribution and density of the continent of North America is being studied here in this lesson, that is North America, land of prairies. Okay, let us study these factors one by one. North America is a recently discovered continent. See, we came to know that North America, it has been recently discovered. In 1501, the Italian navigator Amerigo Vespucci sailed to the coast of the mainland. Then the continent was first called by the first word of his name, Amerigo, America. See what happened actually in 1501, one of the Italian navigator whose name is Amerigo Vespucci, he sailed to that coast of the mainland. By his first name Amerigo, it has been named as America. The continent is mostly inhabited by Europeans. Inhabited by Europeans in the sense what? This continent is mainly occupied by the Europeans. They made use of Mexico's gold. The French built up a profitable fur trade in Canada. See, French, what they have built? They have built a profitable fur trade. Trade in the sense what? Sale of animal fur. Whatever the animal's fur will be there on the skin, it's a sale. That is a very profitable sale that is being done by these Canada. The British exploited the fisheries and forests of the Atlantic provinces of Canada and New England of USA. See, the British is what they have done? They have exploited the fisheries and also the forests of the Atlantic provinces of Canada and New England of USA. See, what happens here is the sound resource base combined with development in science and technology, a large domestic market, international trade relationship, development of good means of transportation, etc. have helped North America to become one of the most developed regions of the world. See, to become one of the most developed region, it requires certain conditions. What are those conditions? It has a very well developed science and technology. It has a large domestic market. Nice international trade relationships have been maintained. Development of good means of transportation. Very well means for the help of transportation. There are many means of transportation. This is why North America has become one of the most developed region of the world. So, the nations of North America are very rich and called one of the economically prosperous countries. Because of these factors, what has happened? It has become one of the nations, that is, so the nations of all these, the nations of North America, they are very rich and economically prosperous, means being healthy, success and lot of wealth is being found in those nations. Therefore, it is necessary to understand the continent as a model for progress of other countries. So, for the progress of other countries, North America, it has become one of the model because it is very well developed. It is what? Prosperous country. It has become a model for the other countries to become developed, to become prosperous. Okay. Now, let us study each and every factor. First, let us study about location, physical setting and extent. Okay. Let us first study about location and physical setting. Location, physical setting and extent. We shall first study about this. Okay, among that now we are going to study about location. North America is located entirely to the north of the equator. Where it is located? Entirely to the north of equator. North America is located entirely, completely to the north of the equator. It lies within 19 degree north to 71 degree north latitudes. See where it lies? It lies within 19 degree north to 71 degree north latitudes, and what further? And 50 degree west to 150 degree west longitudes. 50 degree west to 150 degree west longitudes. Okay, this is where we find its location. The Tropic of Cancer passes through the continent in the south and Arctic Circle in the north. See in this how it is the location. Tropic of Cancer, it passes through the continent in the south and the Arctic Circle, that is in the north of this North America. Okay. Now let us go study about physical setting. This is all about the location. Now let us study about physical setting, how it is. Okay. North America is surrounded by Atlantic Ocean in the east, the Pacific Ocean in the west and the Arctic Ocean in the north. See, North America, what all we find? We find Atlantic Ocean in the west, Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean in the east, Pacific Ocean in the west and the Arctic Ocean in the north. It is separated from the continent of Asia by the Bering Strait. See what has happened? It is being separated. This continent is being separated from Asia by a Bering Strait. What it is actually? It has a land link with South America by the Isthmus of Panama. Actually, how it is? This is having a land link between which? Between South America by what? By Isthmus of Panama. A number of smaller water bodies are found here. How it is? A many number of small water bodies we can see there. Example, which are those small water bodies? They are the Gulf of Mexico, the Hudson Bay, the Gulf of Alaska, Gulf of California, etc. These are the few small water bodies present there. The West Indies and Cuba Islands are found in the Caribbean Sea. See what we can say? We can say two islands, that is the West Indies and Cuba Islands. They are found in which sea? They are found in the Caribbean Sea. Newfoundland is found to the east of Canada. There is one more land called as Newfoundland which is being found to the east of Canada. A number of islands lie in the Arctic Ocean, of which Greenland is the largest. Islands in the sense a small piece of land which is surrounded by water in all the four sides. There are many islands present in this Arctic Ocean, among which one of the largest is Greenland Island. Okay. The strip of land that lies to the south of North America is called Central America. On the south of this North America, there lies a small strip of land which is named as Central America. This is the physical setting. Now let us study about the extent. Okay. The next is extent. North America is the third largest continent in area in the world after Asia and Africa. See, Africa and Asia, how are they? They are the first and the second largest continents. Whereas North America, it is the third largest continent in terms of area in the world. It is almost 7 times bigger than India. How many times bigger than India? 7 times bigger than India. There are 24 countries in North America. Totally how many countries are there in North America? There are totally 24 countries in North America. Which are those? Among them they have given Canada, United States of America and Mexico are the 3 large countries by their size. Actually there are total how many countries? There are 24 countries in North America, but which are the 3 large countries by their size? They are Canada, United States of America and Mexico. These are the 3 large countries by their size. The Caribbean islands are also area included in the physical area of North America. Actually these Caribbean islands, they are also included in the physical area of North America. Now let us study about physical divisions. Okay. We shall study about physical divisions. The continent of North America is divided into 4 major physical divisions. How many divisions are there? 4 major physical divisions. Which are those 4 major physical divisions? They are the Western Cordilleras, or we can say it as the Rocky Mountains. The Rocky Mountains. These are the 4 divisions. Among that, first one is the Western Cordilleras or the Rocky Mountains. The second one is the Great Central Plains. Okay, which are they? The Great Central Plains. And the third one is the Appalachian Highlands. The Appalachian Highlands. And then the fourth one is the Coastal Plains. The Coastal Plains. These are the 4 physical divisions. Now, let us first study about the Western Cordilleras, or we can also call that as the Rocky Mountains. These are the young-fold mountain ranges like the Himalayas of India. How it are the Western Cordilleras? How are they? They are very young-fold mountains, like how we can find these Himalayas of India. The Western Cordilleras run from Alaska in the north to Panama in the south. See what all they are covering the area. They start from the Alaska in the north and end up to the Panama in the south. They consist of a series of plateaus. See, there are many plateaus. They have given few of the examples of those plateaus. Which are they? They are Colorado, Mexican Yucatan Plateau, and form a series of parallel fold mountains. They also form a series of parallel fold mountains. We can see here in the images Rocky Mountain ranges, which are also called as the Western Cordilleras. Also we can see the Alaska mountain ranges and McKinley Mountains. The Rockies are most important ranges in the Western Cordilleras. See, which are most important? These the Rockies, they are the most important ranges in the Western Cordilleras. The height of the range is low towards Alaska and it increases enormously towards Mexico. See the height it is ranging, it has a wide variety of range. It is low towards Alaska and the height is more as they move on towards this Mexico. Mount McKinley is the highest peak and Death Valley is the lowest part in this region. See, there are one is the highest peak and the other is the lowest part. That is Mount McKinley, how it is 6,194 meter, that is the highest peak, and there is a valley named as Death Valley which is 86 meters below the sea level, is the lowest part in this particular region. The Cascade and Sierra Nevada are other ranges. Apart from these two, Cascade and Sierra Nevada, they are the other ranges. The Whitney Mountain and White Mountain in California are well known for their rugged slopes and scenic beauty. See, two of them mountains named as Whitney Mountain and White Mountain, they are present in California. They are well known for its scenic beauty because of the beauty when we to see towards that mountain. There are some intermountain plateaus found between these ranges. Apart from this, we can find some intermountain plateaus. Plateau of Columbia, Colorado and Mexican Plateau are the important among them. Like among these intermountain plateaus, which are the important plateaus? They are Columbia, Colorado and Mexican Plateau. They are the important. Next, River Colorado cuts the Colorado Plateau and has given rise to the Grand Canyon. What has happened actually is this river Colorado, it has cut the plateau. Which plateau? Colorado Plateau, and it has given rise to one of the thing called as Grand Canyon. See, Old Faithful Geyser, you can see here in the picture. The Old Faithful Geyser is a world famous geyser in the Yellowstone, that we can find that in National Park of USA. Then next, we finished studying about the Western Cordilleras or the Rocky Mountains. Now we are going to study about the Great Central Plains. The Central Plains are also referred to as the Great Plains of the Prairies. See, these Central Plains are also named as what? They are also named as Great Plains of the Prairies. They lie between the Appalachians in the east and the Cordilleras in the west. Say from where it is found, they are in between the Appalachians in the east and Cordilleras in the west. The plain consists of vast expanse of flat and gently rolling land. How these plains are? They are vast, they are big and flat, and they have rolling land. These plains are formed by river Mississippi, Missouri and their tributaries. How is this land formed? This land is formed by the rivers. Which are those rivers? They are river Mississippi, Missouri and their tributaries. This is one of the most fertile plains of the world and is a good farming region. This is the great land of Central Plains. They are the most fertile plains which are being found in the world and is very much good for farming region. The denudation of the area by ice sheets has resulted in the formation of a large number of basins. Denudation means here the land has been dug deep inside like this. Okay, this denudation has been taken place and what has happened has given to the formation of basins. These basins are covered by lake. Those basins which have been formed because of land denudation, how they are covered? They are covered by the lakes. Next, we are going to study about the eastern highlands, or we are going to study about the eastern highlands or the Appalachian highlands. The eastern highlands are also known as Appalachians. The same way, the eastern highlands, they have the another name called as Appalachians. These extend from Newfoundland to Alabama along the eastern margin of the continent. Where do these lie? They lie from Newfoundland to Alabama along the eastern margin of this continent. Appalachians, they have given here the poster, you can see it. The Appalachians are old folded mountains but have been denuded to their present height. What happened actually? Appalachians, they are the old fold mountains. They have been denuded now by their present height. Earth of the Appalachian ranges lie the predominant plateau and the Atlantic Sea. East of the Appalachian lies what? There lies predominant plateau and the Atlantic coastal plain. The St. Lawrence Valley separates the Labrador Plateau from the Appalachian ranges. What happens actually? This St. Lawrence Valley, that is going to separate this Labrador Plateau from which ranges? From the Appalachian ranges. How they are? They are rich in coal, lead, zinc, iron ore, copper, water power and wood. See, these ranges, they are very much rich in coal, lead, zinc, iron ore, copper, water power and wood. This region has a surprisingly large population and its importance in the North America economy is significant. That is, these eastern islands, how they are? They have a surprisingly large population, and also it is very much important in North America. For what purpose? For the purposes of economy. Now, we are going to study about the coastal plains. North America has quite a long and indented coastal line except in the south where the Isthmus of Panama. See, North America, it has a very long and indented coastal line, but not in south where this Isthmus of Panama is present. The coastal plain is narrow in the northeast and widened towards the south and west. How these coastal plains are? They are very narrow, they are small in these northeast, and it increases, it widens towards this south and the west. The average height is 150 meter above sea level. This is a low and relatively plain area with sandy soil which is relatively infertile. How these coastal plains are? These coastal plains are low and plain area with sandy soil. Because of sandy soil, it is relatively not fertile. It is, these coastal plains are infertile. Swamps and marshes are abundant. The coast is indented by river mouths and bays on which many seaports are located. How are these coasts? They are indented with many river mouths and also bays, which because of which we can see that many seaports are located. Now, we are going to study about rivers and great lakes in North America. Okay, rivers and great lakes. We are going to study about rivers and Great Lakes. North America has a few large and short rivers. In North America, we can find few large as well as short rivers. A number of lakes form the unique physical features of this continent around the Canadian Shield. There are number of lakes which are going to form the unique physical feature of this continent around this Canadian Shield. Now let us study about the rivers. Okay, rivers. The Mississippi and its tributaries forms the great river system of North America. What has happened? This Mississippi River and its tributaries, these are the great river systems of the North America. These together drains 2/3 of the area of the continent and finally flows into the Gulf of Mexico. See, entirely this North American continent, this Mississippi River and its tributary have taken how much of area? 2/3 of the area of the continent. And what happens? It finally flows into the Gulf of Mexico. The Missouri is the important tributary of Mississippi. One of the important tributary of this river Mississippi is Missouri. The other tributaries of this river Mississippi are Red River, Ohio, Tennessee, Arkansas, and Platte. These are few of the tributaries. The Snake, Fraser, Columbia, Yukon, Colorado, Rio Grande, Mackenzie, Nelson and St. Lawrence are other important rivers of North America. These are few of the important rivers of North America. Okay, the Colorado, Columbia and Fraser are the west flowing rivers. There are few more rivers which flow towards the west. They are the Colorado, Columbia and Fraser. See, we can see this Mississippi River here in the image of your textbook. Again, there are also few rivers which are flowing towards the west. They are short and how they flow? They flow swiftly and flows into the Pacific Ocean. These rivers, they flow into the Pacific Ocean. River Colorado and River Columbia are the west flowing rivers and they are short and swift. How are these River Colorado and River Columbia? They are west flowing rivers and they flow very swiftly and they are short. The River Columbia flows across the Columbian Plateau. The Colorado River drains into Colorado Plateau and forms the Grand Canyon. See, Colorado River, where it goes? It goes to the Colorado Plateau and then forms Grand Canyon. It is a center for scenic beauty and tourism. See, this Colorado River, it is a center of what? Center of scenic beauty, means a very beautiful nature is available there to see and it is going to attract for tourism. The Grand Canyon is called natural wonder of the world. See, this Grand Canyon, it is so beautiful that it is named as natural wonder of the world. Next, the Canadian Shield is drained by many small rivers and they flow into the Hudson Bay. See this Canadian Shield, it is being separated by many small rivers and then it finally flows towards the Hudson Bay. The St. Lawrence is an important river of USA and Canada. One of the river whose name is St. Lawrence River, it is an important river of USA and Canada. It passes through the Great Lakes. It remains frozen for 3 months in a year. See, this St. Lawrence River, it remains frozen. Frozen in the sense it is converted into ice for 3 months in a year. This is about the rivers. Now, we are going to study about the lakes. Okay, lakes in the North America. North America has a large number of freshwater and saltwater lakes. Along with the rivers, North America, it also has a large number of freshwater lakes and saltwater lakes. They are situated on the southern border of Canadian Shield. Where are these lakes situated? They are situated on the southern border of this Canadian Shield. Huron, Ontario, Michigan, Erie and Superior are the most important lakes. These are the few of the important lakes found in the North America. Together they are called homes. See, these lakes together, in short, HOMES, that is Huron, Ontario, Michigan, Erie and Superior, together they are called as homes. Lake Superior is the largest of the Great Lakes and is the largest freshwater lake in the world. See, Lake Superior, how it is? It is the largest of the Great Lakes and it is the largest freshwater lake not only in that particular continent but in the entire world. This Lake Superior, it is the largest freshwater lake. Chicago and Detroit are situated on the Michigan and Eyre Lakes respectively. Chicago, it is situated in Michigan and Detroit, it is situated in Eyre Lakes. In Canada, Lake Winnipeg is very important. One of the lake whose name is Lake Winnipeg, it is very much important in Canada. Great lakes serve as important waterways. What happens? These great lakes, they serve as an important waterways. So what we studied? We studied about the rivers and great lakes of this North America. So dear students, in this session we studied about what? North America, its location, physical settings and extent. Then we studied about the 4 physical divisions of this North America. After that, we have studied about rivers and great lakes present in North America. Okay. In our next session, we are going to study about climate and natural vegetations. Till then, stay safe, keep studying. Thank you.